just trying to survive and learn to love along the way. By Foreplay on AO3. Episode 102, Chapter 102 of Tag Teams and Hard Heads. Izuku tries not to worry too much after his dad's conversation with Kachan. He just has to believe that the other hero will go and help them. It shouldn't be that hard for them, right? Besides, Izuku can't be distracted now. Not when they finally catching up to Mirio-senpai. He just needs to stay focused and save his worrying for later. They turn the next corner carefully and find a doorway at the end of it. There are no villains in sight, but the sound of fighting reached their ears. Izuku sprints. His dad reaches out for him. We'll probably scold him for being so reckless later, but he needs to make sure the rest of the team is alright. There hadn't been any booby traps other than the guy who manipulated the floors, and he's out, so Izuku believes that he'll be fine running down the hall. Izuku grins as he reaches the other end without incident. He turns around to yell at his dad to hurry up, but finds him right behind him, a serious look on his face. Yeah, Izuku's so getting scolded later. There isn't a door in the hallway. It's more like a gaping hole in the wall, but there is a room beyond, so Izuku assumes that there must have been a door once. Izuku's smile falls at the sound of fighting stopping completely. His dad enters first, and they do their best to sneak around, staying close to the wall. That goes out the window when they see the situation. Night Eye is on the ground, unmoving. Izuku can't see any blood from here, and he can't tell if the man is alive or not. He just has to hope for the former. Lemillion stands in front of him, ready to protect him. Or maybe he's been protecting the hero for a while. The real problem stands in the center of the room. Overhaul is there, as expected. What's not expected is the hold he has on Hitoshi. Izuku can't stop himself from running forward to stand beside Lemillion. He needs to be closer in order to see what's going on, and if he needs to reveal himself to do that, then so be it. Toshi is limp, held up in front of Overhaul like a shield. The man has an arm wrapped around his neck, and a hand hovering over his face in a threatening manner. Toshi's eyes are shut, and there's blood running down his face from a long cut on his forehead. Nobody's talking. Izuku looks back to his dad in the shadows, and meets his eyes. He nods at him, then turns away, activating his quirk. Now, Lemillion! Izuku changes his stance and activates Blackwhip, the tendrils slowly snaking towards his boyfriend. Lemillion runs, and his whip follows, keeping pace with the hero. He activates his quirk just as he reaches the pair, using it to face through the arm, through Hitoshi's head, and punch Endeavor right in the face. The man drops his boyfriend, but Izuku's quirk is there to catch him before he hits the ground. He carefully pulls Hitoshi back to him, a gentle disposit next to Night Eye beside them. He then joins the fight. He feels pretty confident at first, his dad's quirk making it impossible for Overhaul to use his, and Lemillion's fighting at his side makes him feel invincible. It's fun fighting next to the other student. With his quirk, Lemillion could go through Izuku to get Overhaul. They're not getting in each other's way, and find a rhythm pretty quickly. Since Overhaul can't use his quirk, Izuku doesn't have to keep track of his hands. He just does his best at attacking. Lemillion tries to attack with Izuku, phasing through him so they could hit Overhaul twice as hard together. But all good things come to an end. That invincible feeling? That stops pretty quickly. There's a heavy lump behind him, and Izuku jumps back a little to take a look. His dad is on the ground, staring up at Toga. How did she escape? They had captured her and tied her pretty securely, so she must have a hidden knife or something. His dad gets up quickly, but now he has to focus on his own fight instead of supporting theirs. A punch to the gut brings Izuku back to his fight. Overhaul is strong. Izuku can feel something happening to his rib with the force of the hit. He backs up quickly, enough to miss the hand to the face. Overhaul redirects it, smacking his palm on the ground. The room starts to shake, and Izuku checks behind him just in time to see his dad, section sinking in, taking Eraserhead and Toga with it. Now, there was no way for his dad to interfere, so Overhaul doesn't have to worry about his quirk anymore. Izuku needs to be careful. He tries to act unfazed as he jumps back into the fight. but the grin on Overhaul's face tells him he doesn't succeed. They try the same format of fighting, but it doesn't go well. Lemillion is perfectly capable of dodging those hands. All he needs to do is activate his quirk, and he becomes untouchable. Izuku doesn't have that advantage. He finds himself backing away from the fight to avoid his quirk. He would try to use Blackwhip on the villain, but he's scared. Scared of what it can do to him, though. If Overhaul got a hand on one of his whips, he could activate his quirk. Could he affect Izuku through it? That's something he doesn't want to find out, so he avoids using it. His other quirks won't be helpful either. Float would give him absolutely nothing in this situation, except maybe another escape route. And with Danger Sense, Izuku is glad he learned how to quiet it. It would be going off like crazy the whole raid, so he worked with his dad to figure out how to at least dampen it. He doesn't need a headache. Nevertheless, Izuku jumps back in, doing his best to support Lemillion. Overhaul chooses then to decide that he'd make an easier target. He stops uselessly trying to hit Lemillion and goes after Izuku instead, pulling him off to the defensive. Izuku can hardly fight back. He does alright, for the first bit at least. But Overhaul gets one good hit in, and it knocks him straight to the floor. His head smacks into the concrete, and he can feel the blood start to run down his face within seconds. He ignores the pain and gets onto his hands and knees. But that's where he needs to pause. His vision is going a little wonky. Get him. It's the first time he heard the villain speak since the alleyway, and it makes him look up. Overhaul is concentrating on fighting Lemillion, but his gaze is directed at the corner. Laying there is a man he didn't notice before, brandishing a gun. It doesn't look like any gun he's seen before. It looks like what Kirishima described when he told him about his debut, where Sun Eater temporarily lost his quirk. It's aimed right at Izuku. Okay, so we know for a fact that Izuku's not gonna lose his quirk. Izuku's not gonna lose his quirk. We know that because we know that further down the road, Izuku uses his quirk, right? So Izuku's not losing his quirk. At least not permanently. Or he's gonna get it back, right? So yeah, we know that. What the fuck happened? Why was Hitoshi? I was scared, I was scared, and I'm still scared. What's gonna happen? I'm scared. Okay, so chapter, I don't know if I should say 103, or if I should just say 103. I think I might just start doing 103. 10, or 13. No, 103, yeah. I don't know what's faster, 103 or 103. I think they're both the same. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But chapter 103, chapter 103, I think we're gonna do 103. Yeah. Chapter 103 is of Lost and Found. Izuku's too slow to stop the man now. Just what will happen when the quirk erasing bullet finds its mark. Finds a mark. Does it not hit Izuku? Does it hit someone else instead? No way. No. We're finally at the end of the raid. There is plenty of hospital womp and recovery coming though. So I'm mean to these characters. This chapter has violence, descriptions of blood and injury, and language. Heart, heart, heart. Okay, great, amazing, wonderful. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Links to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.